welcome to this short presentation for economics for the senior cycle. Hello and welcome to this short presentation for economics for the senior cycle. For this presentation, we'll first look at the subject overview, structure of the subject, content and coursework, assessment, and then some career options if you choose economics for the Leaving Cert. So economics is a 2-year course like most of your Leaving Cert subjects. There is now an option to take higher level economics and ordinary level economics. Although some topics that were covered in junior cycle business will be discussed, having junior cycle business is not a requirement. At the start of each chapter in economics, we'll do an introductory lesson, if not a couple, in which all students will be caught up to speed. Economics is based on all forms of learning and assessment through numerical, theoretical and graphical. So if you're not a mathematical genius, that is no problem for economics, as the maths in it is very doable. If you're not great at learning off large pieces of text, that is also no issue in economics. And then you will be required to be able to draw, read and interpret some graphs, which you will be able to do after some practice. So the subject structure, as with most senior cycle subjects, economics will have 5 periods a week of 40 minutes classes, usually divided up into 2 double periods and 1 single period. ICT will be used frequently for learning in economics, with many online resources and for research purposes. Learning will take place through many forms of individual and group work. So firstly, to try to describe what economics is. To put it into one sentence is very difficult, but if we were to try, we would say that economics is a social science that deals with the production and distribution of goods and services, and how decisions are made locally and internationally with limited resources. And to put that in simpler terms is how goods and services such as computers, phones, taxi services, getting your hair cut, how are they made in certain ways and distributed in certain ways. And how decisions are made basically means how people make choices with limited resources, because nobody has unlimited resources. Everyone has a limit. The senior cycle economics is divided up into 5 strands. Strand 1 is what is economics about. Strand 2, how are economics decisions made. Strand 3, what can markets do? Strand 4, what is the relationship between policy and economic performance? And Strand 5, how is the economy influenced by international economics? So what Strand 1 is? So Strand 1 is a unifying strand that sets the context for Leaving Cert Economics course. The learning outcomes in this strand address particular knowledge, skills and values, which students will cultivate and build on gradually as they progress through the course. Strand 1 also introduces students to the fundamental economic principles of scarcity and choice, how resources are limited and people cannot have all the goods and services that they want. Students will begin to understand how decisions are made at various levels, be it individuals, firms, businesses, governments and other institutions. Strand 2 focuses on microeconomics and market economy. A market exists when buyers and sellers interact. This strand examines how individuals, firms and government policymakers interact and influence the market. Students explore how individuals, firms and government respond to incentives and study models of demand and supply. In Strand 3, this strand progresses to understanding of the basic operation of the market to exploring the importance of competition in product markets. Students use market structures as models to explore the nature of competition and pricing in the market. You will look at why firms charge certain prices and only produce a certain amount of product. You will then look at different market structures such as monopolies, oligopolies, perfect competition and imperfect competition market structures. Strand 4 then develops the students' understanding of macroeconomy. Economic performance refers to an assessment of how a country is performing relative to the objectives of the government policies. So with macroeconomics, you begin to look at the larger scale economy through how governments and different countries interact with each other. For strand 5 then, we begin to look at how the economy is influenced by international economics. So if we take Ireland, Ireland is a small and open economy, and this has implications for our economic activity and performance, and for government policies and decisions. You guys will develop an understanding on how Ireland's economy is influenced by economic events and policies and development at European and international levels. Students consider how changes in the international economy have significant effects on our domestic economy here in Ireland. For assessment then, both higher and ordinary level exams are assessed in the same way. Both higher and ordinary level will have a 20% research study which will be completed before your exams. This is worth 20% of your overall result for your Leaving Cert. You then have an 80% written exam during your Leaving Cert exams. This exam is 2.5 hours long and is divided into two sections, Section A and B. Section A, which is short questions, and you only have to answer 5 out of a possible 10 questions. This is worth 20%, so you have a nice good choice there of only picking 5 out of 10. Section B then is long questions, and you only have to answer 3 out of 6, and this is worth 80% of your overall written exam. So Section A, 20% of your written exam, Section B, 80% of your written exam. And then with the combined research study and written exam, you have your full assessment for your Leaving Cert. Careers in economics are that you can gain from economics. So there's so many careers you can get from economics, and they can benefit nearly all walks of life. So you can become an economist, business manager, market research analysis, financial trader, data analyst, risk assessment manager, and of course if you're going into politics or wish to go into politics, having an understanding of economics and the economy is an essential. And just by being economic literate, which means understanding how the economy works, it'll aid you in all walks of life, not just your career or your job prospects. This is hopefully going to be our first year of introducing economics here at LUSCC. So I'm looking forward to having some of you choose economics for your subject next year. If you have any questions or queries about economics, feel free to give me an email. My email is samprendergast@lusk.ie. Thank you for listening.